If you've enjoyed my content and would like to see more of it, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you continue to enjoy my videos.
The air is thin up here. High on the remote plateaus of northern Ethiopia, the wind whispers secrets across jagged peaks and deep ancient valleys. This is a land steeped in history, a place where legends are etched into the very landscape. It feels like stepping back in time. Hidden from the modern world, tucked away in the shadows of a sheer cliff face, is a cave. The entrance is unassuming, a dark gash in the rock that you could easily miss. Local guides speak of it only in hushed tones, their eyes wide with a mixture of reverence and fear. They call it the Cave of Sleeping Light, a place where the earth itself holds a strange and luminous secret, a mystery that has defied explanation for nearly a century. Getting here is an expedition in itself. The journey involves treacherous mountain passes and trails that have been used by pilgrims and traders for millennia. The final approach to the cave is a steep, narrow path, where one wrong step could send you plunging into the gorge below. The entrance is draped in thick, ancient vines, like a curtain hiding a sacred stage. As you push them aside, a cool, musty air washes over you, carrying the scent of damp earth and something else, something electric. The darkness inside is absolute, a profound blackness that seems to swallow all sound and light. It is in this impenetrable gloom that the mystery begins to unfold, hinting at something otherworldly. The local stories are as old as the mountains themselves. They say the cave is a gateway, a portal to another realm where spirits of ancient kings and queens still reside. Elders warn that the cave chooses who is worthy to enter its sanctum. They speak of strange energies that can disorient the unwary and of whispers that echo from the stone walls with no apparent source. These tales aren't just folklore, they are warnings, passed down through generations to protect a powerful secret. The cave is not just a geological formation, it is a place of immense power, a forbidden sanctuary that guards an object of unimaginable significance. As your eyes struggle to adjust, you feel a strange sensation, a subtle hum that seems to vibrate through the soles of your boots. It's a low-frequency thrum, almost imperceptible, yet it sets your teeth on edge. The air grows colder, and the silence deepens, broken only by the frantic beat of your own heart. You are standing on the threshold of the unknown, about to witness something that exists outside the known laws of science and nature. The real journey is just beginning, a descent into a mystery that pulls you forward, deeper into the earth, toward a soft, ethereal glow that waits in the heart of the darkness. The story of its modern discovery begins in 1928. A British missionary, Reverend Thomas Abernathy, was mapping the remote highlands, seeking to bring his faith to isolated communities. Led by a local guide who was hesitant to even approach the area, Abernathy heard tales of a sacred cave. He was a man of logic and faith, skeptical of what he considered local superstition. Driven by curiosity, he insisted on seeing it for himself. After a grueling climb, he entered the inky blackness of the cave, lighting a match to guide his way. But as the flame flickered and died, something astonishing happened. The darkness was not complete. From the center of the chamber, a soft, otherworldly light began to emanate. It was a gentle, pulsing glow, a cool, milky blue luminescence that seemed to breathe. As Abernathy's eyes adjusted, he saw its source, a large, flat slab of stone, perfectly smooth and shaped like a bed. It was carved from a single piece of obsidian-like rock, but it shone with an internal light. The glow was faint, yet powerful enough to illuminate the entire cavern. He described it as starlight trapped in stone, a phenomenon that defied all rational explanation. He had stumbled upon something that wasn't on any map, an artifact that belonged to a forgotten age. Upon closer inspection, Reverend Abernathy found the surface of the stone bed was not entirely smooth. It was covered in a series of intricate symbols and patterns, unlike any known script from the region. The symbols were not carved into the stone, but seemed to be part of its very structure, glowing more intensely than the rest of the slab. They resembled celestial charts, complex geometric shapes and flowing lines that seemed to map out unseen energies. He tried to sketch them in his journal, but he noted that they appeared to shift and change subtly, as if the patterns were alive. He felt an overwhelming sense of awe and a deep, unsettling feeling that he was intruding upon something sacred. Abernathy spent hours in the cave, mesmerized by the silent, radiant display. The glow was only visible in absolute darkness. The moment he struck another match, the stone's light would vanish, only to reappear when the flame was extinguished. He noted in his journal that the air around the bed felt strangely warm and that a low hum seemed to resonate from the slab. He left the cave a changed man, his scientific skepticism shattered by an experience he could not explain. He wrote of a profound sense of peace, but also a chilling awareness of a power far beyond human understanding. His discovery marked the beginning of the enigma of the glowing stone bed. What is this impossible object? The question has haunted explorers, scientists, and mystics for decades, giving rise to a host of incredible theories. One of the most persistent ideas is that the stone bed is a relic of a lost, ancient technology. Ethiopia is home to some of the world's most mysterious ancient structures, like the towering obelisks of Axum and the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, monuments that defy easy explanation. Proponents of this theory suggest the bed could be a power source, a data storage device, or even a healing table, created by a civilization with a deep understanding of geology, energy, and physics that has since been lost to time. Another compelling theory connects the bed to ancient spiritual practices. Some believe it is a memory stone, an artifact designed to store the collective consciousness or ancestral knowledge of a people. In this view, the glowing symbols are not just decoration, but a form of living data, a library of experiences and wisdom. The bed would have been used in sacred rituals, where initiates would lie upon it to connect with the spirits of their ancestors, or receive profound visions. This aligns with local legends that describe the cave as a place for spiritual journeys, where the chosen few could sleep and remember the forgotten history of their lineage. Of course, there are those who propose a more supernatural or even extraterrestrial origin. Given the bed's strange properties, the cold light, the humming sound, and the shifting symbols, some have speculated that it is not of this world. Could it be a piece of a crashed spacecraft, a beacon, or a communication device left behind by ancient astronauts? This idea, while sensational, speaks to the sheer strangeness of the artifact. It's an object that seems to operate outside our current understanding of the natural world, making even the most outlandish theories seem plausible when you are standing in its ethereal, silent glow. The stone itself is a geological puzzle. Samples, when they can be obtained, appear to be a form of basalt, mixed with unknown trace elements, including crystals that have a unique phosphorescent quality. However, no known natural process can explain how these elements could be combined to create a self-sustaining light source that responds to darkness. The bed remains a scientific anomaly, a piece of technology or nature that simply shouldn't exist. Each theory, from ancient tech to alien artifact, is an attempt to put a label on the unknowable, to explain a mystery that continues to guard its secrets deep within the Ethiopian highlands. The true power of the stone bed lies in the stories told by those who have dared to get close. Eyewitness accounts are filled with strange and often terrifying details that go beyond a simple glowing rock. A German expedition in the 1970s reported that their electronic equipment malfunctioned within 50 feet of the cave entrance. Compasses spun wildly, cameras failed, and audio recorders captured nothing but a high-pitched static. The team's leader wrote that he felt a sense of being watched by an unseen intelligence, a crushing pressure in his mind that forced them to retreat. He described it as a psychic defense system designed to keep intruders away. Local people share even more dramatic tales. An elder in a nearby village tells the story of his grandfather, who, as a young man, snuck into the cave on a dare. He lay upon the stone bed for just a moment. When he emerged, he was unable to speak for 3 days. Afterward, he claimed to have seen visions of cities of light and heard voices speaking a language of pure sound. For the rest of his life, he was gifted with an uncanny ability to predict future events, but was also plagued by nightmares of a sleeping darkness trapped within the stone. His story serves as a stark warning to the community. The bed gives knowledge, but at a terrible price. More recently, a team of documentary filmmakers who visited the site reported experiencing intense auditory hallucinations. Inside the cave, they all heard the distinct sound of chanting, even though they were completely alone. The sound seemed to come from the rock itself, a chorus of disembodied voices that grew louder the closer they got to the glowing slab. Frightened, they fled the cave, but the phantom chanting reportedly followed them for miles down the mountain trail before finally fading away. They left with no usable footage, only a shared experience that they can neither prove nor deny. These accounts paint a picture of an object that is not merely passive, but actively interacts with those who approach it. It seems to affect the mind, manipulate electronics, and generate phenomena that defy logical explanation. Is it a guardian, a trap, or something else entirely? The consistency across different eyewitness reports, the psychic pressure, the equipment failure, the auditory hallucinations, suggests that something very real and very powerful resides in that cave. The fear it inspires is palpable. It's the fear of an intelligence that is ancient, alien, and utterly indifferent to human comprehension. The whispers in the dark are real, and they warn us to stay away. In the 21st century, we have tools Reverend Abernathy could only have dreamed of. Ground-penetrating radar, spectrographs, and high-sensitivity thermal cameras have all been brought to the mouth of the cave, yet the mystery endures. Modern attempts to study the stone bed have been met with a frustrating series of failures. Remote drones sent into the cave lose their signal moments after entering. Sensitive recording equipment is wiped clean, its data corrupted by an unknown energy field. The cave itself seems to resist scientific inquiry, as if the same force that protects the bed also repels our technology, rendering our most advanced instruments useless. The few material samples smuggled out of the cave have only deepened the enigma. Analysis confirms the stone is primarily basalt, but it's laced with trace elements, including a crystalline structure that has never been documented. When isolated in a lab, these crystals do not glow. The luminosity, it seems, is a property of the entire intact slab, perhaps activated by a geological or energetic source deep within the mountain. Scientists are left with a frustrating paradox. To understand the bed, they need to study it in situ, but the environment around the bed makes such study impossible. It's a perfect lock, and we have yet to find the key. But you know, the most disturbing development is a recent one, noted by the local elders and a handful of recent visitors. The glow is fading. For generations, the bed's light was a constant, a soft but steady beacon in the dark. Now those who have seen it say the light is weaker, its pulse slower and more erratic. Sometimes it flickers like a dying ember. The vibrant blue has reportedly paled to a ghostly white. This slow dimming has sparked a new kind of fear, not of the bed's power, but of its death. What happens if the light goes out completely? Is it the end of a natural cycle, or is a delicate power source finally running out of energy? This fading light leaves us with a haunting final question, one that hangs in the thin mountain air. We are faced with a profound unknown, an ancient artifact that defied our understanding and may now be vanishing before we ever had the chance to learn its purpose. What was this glowing stone bed for? Was it a tomb for a celestial king, a source of forgotten energy, or a sacred gateway to another dimension? As its light wanes, the urgency and the mystery only grow.